What's up, guys? Wanted to make a quick video just talking about an article that I read. It was the Men's Health Why Not to Do CrossFit Open 19.3, and want to talk about how ridiculous it is. The article starts out with the author talking about putting your body in shock or something along those lines when you're doing the workout. And I actually kind of find that funny to think that that's how he describes doing a CrossFit workout, when I don't think that that applies at all. I do think that doing a CrossFit Open workout is probably a little bit harder than, say, somebody's normal gym 20 minutes of cardio workout, but I don't think that any workout in particular is going to put your body in shock, or that's how a workout's written to be. The guy basically starts out and just is talking about how the workout itself is going to injure somebody's shoulder, that the workout is so shoulder intensive and that the focus of the workout is around doing handstand push-ups. The guy obviously didn't do the workout, and I guarantee that if he had, he wouldn't have made it to the handstand push-ups to begin with. If you make it that far, you are very, very, very fit. You're at least above average fitness. You have above average fitness, and I don't think that this guy did, because he would know right away that most people aren't making it to the handstand push-ups. I guess I understand his need to talk about how overhead pressing can hurt your shoulder, but I believe that any overhead pressing can hurt your shoulder. I just think that if you do it properly, and if you understand what to do with your shoulder and how to put it in the right position, then you lower your risk of injury. But it doesn't matter what exercise program you're doing or what exercise movement you're doing. If you're pressing overhead, you are endangering hurting your shoulder. So that's why a lot of professional athletes don't do a lot of pressing over shoulder, because they get paid to do something else, not press. One thing I find funny is that somewhere in the article at the beginning of it, he talks about how CrossFit workouts cause injuries. And it's funny, if you look at his certification or his credentials, he's got a CSCS, which is like an NASM certification. It is a very good certification. You have to be a very smart person to get that. But it's funny because CrossFit is currently in a lawsuit with the people who gave him his credentials for them making false claims that CrossFit causes injuries. Had he just paid attention to what they're going through legally, he probably should have known not to say something like that, because it's false. It's not true. He doesn't just say that the handstand push-ups are going to cause injuries, because I think he probably realized at some point that most people aren't making it that far. So he had to bring in the overhead lunge into the talks of how it's going to hurt your shoulder. I think that holding something overhead and stabilizing it there can cause issues, but again, if you're showing people how to do it correctly and showing them how to gain the proper structure, their proper holding position by gaining an active shoulder and pressing up against it, nobody's going to have any problems. And if you can't push 50 pounds overhead, you're definitely not going to lunge with it. And so CrossFit gives a scaled version where you hold it here or hold it on your shoulder, where you don't even have to press it overhead. And any reputable CrossFit gym wouldn't let somebody who's going to struggle holding it overhead hold it there. It seems silly. And if anybody does do that, then that's just bad on the gym itself, not the program itself. Talked about how CrossFit this year added a movement in there that's never been done before in the CrossFit Open, which is false, because it's been in there, I'm pretty sure, the last 3 years, but this year they made it strict. That's the only change. And if you go to any CrossFit gym in the country or in the world, most likely we're doing handstand push-ups almost weekly. And a gym, a reputable gym, will start people off with a modification for that, and most of the time it's always strict. Nobody just throws somebody into doing a kipping handstand push-up, so most people have done some type of modified version of handstand push-ups from the moment that they walked in the gym that had handstand push-ups on the WOD for the day. They had to start out with some type of piked or box strict handstand push-ups until they were capable of flipping up on a wall. When they were able to flip up on a wall, they were doing strict handstand push-ups with multiple mats, maybe only moving this far, just learning to gain the range of motion until they could do a strict handstand push-up before they start learning how to do kipping push-ups. He just doesn't know what the program is, or how CrossFit gyms teach their people handstand push-ups. And to think that this is something new that we've never seen before is just asinine. Going back to the handstand push-up, it's funny too, because guys like him, or people like him in the more standardized fitness zone, like non-CrossFit zone, people talk about how bad kipping is. And they say, kipping is cheating or kipping is dangerous. And now all of a sudden we have strict handstand push-ups and now it's strict. So it's like, these people need to make up their mind. Do they not want to see us kip? Do they want to see us kip? Is strict too much? Is strict not enough? Like, what is it that they want? They can't even make up their mind. They're contradicting themselves, and especially this guy who probably has written an article at some point in his life about kipping pull-ups, and now strict is too much, but kipping is stupid. It's like you're really just wanting to bash CrossFit is all it is. Just looking to make a CrossFit a bad name in some way. He clearly has never been to a CrossFit gym. He has reservations about CrossFit for whatever reason. He doesn't like it, and so he's writing this article just to try to keep more people from going to CrossFit for whatever reason. Maybe they don't have a CrossFit section in their magazine or online part, and seeing CrossFit grow is going to take away their clientele or their viewers or their readers or whatever. But he's got something against CrossFit, and to choose this workout of all workouts to try to bash, I just find that to be silly. I think that he's just looking for somebody like me to make a video like this and get his article, get out there and get published and get seen. The funny thing about it is that when he started the article and he started talking about the workout itself, he called it a 200-meter lunge. Not a 200-foot lunge, 200-meter lunge. And I don't know if he did that on purpose, but I feel like it was one of those accidentally on purpose things, trying to make the workout seem way more extreme than what it is. Because to me, the workout wasn't a bad workout. I thought it was very creative. I think that it added an element of some unilateral work of holding the dumbbell overhead with one hand, which I think isn't as hard as holding two dumbbells overhead and trying to lunge, but it does involve some balance. I think that if somebody did have some issues holding it overhead, they probably had no chance of making it to the handstand push-ups to begin with. If somebody was having to break up the lunges every time they did it in 25-foot sections, they probably weren't going to get to the box step-ups with enough time to finish the box step-ups and have time to do handstand push-ups. So it was a well-programmed workout in the sense that it kind of started breaking people off based on their skill level and if they were capable of doing the lunges to begin with. And if they held it here, they probably made it through the lunges, but if they're holding it here, it's for a reason, which means that the box step-ups were probably just as difficult for them or more difficult than if they had held it overhead, which probably slowed them down and they didn't make it to the handstand push-ups to begin with. The person that was able to make it to the handstand push-ups and then again onto the handstand push-ups has done so much overhead work, understands positioning of being overhead, that when they made it there, they knew what to do. They knew how to get their body into an active shoulder position and protect that shoulder so that they didn't cause injury. I think he's very misinformed on what the CrossFit program is, what we teach in our gyms, and how we go about running these workouts for people or the everyday CrossFitter, not the CrossFit Games. I think that if he just goes to any CrossFit gym in his area, wherever he's from, he'll understand he wouldn't have wrote this article. So I advise this guy to go out, find a CrossFit gym, take a few classes, and then write another article about it.